in the vast and mystical world of the Dolua continent. Power is not earned. It is awakened. At the age of 6, every child undergoes a sacred ceremony, a moment that determines their destiny forever. A martial soul. That single awakening defines everything. Your strength, your future, your place in the world. Those blessed with powerful martial souls rise to greatness. Those without are left behind. But in a quiet village, hidden far from the eyes of powerful clans and empires, a child was born who would shatter this law completely. His name was Tian Guang. From the very beginning, Tian Guang was different. As a baby, he never cried. Not when he was hungry. Not when he was cold. Not even when he fell. He simply stared, his blank eyes observing the world as if he had already seen it all before. His parents thought he was a calm child, a blessing. But that illusion didn't last long, because the first sign came sooner than anyone expected. One afternoon, when Tian Guang was barely a year old, his mother placed him in the courtyard, surrounded by simple tools and household items. Among them, a large wooden bucket filled with water. Heavy, far too heavy for a child to move. She stepped away for only a moment. But when she returned, everything had changed. The bucket was no longer standing. It was crushed, flattened completely against the stone floor, as if an enormous force had pressed it down. And beside it stood Tian Guang, his tiny hand still resting on the broken wood, his expression calm, unbothered, as if he had done nothing unusual at all. His mother froze. Her heart pounded in fear. That strength was impossible, but it was only the beginning. As Tian Guang grew, so did the fear surrounding him. At 2 years old, he wandered into the forest alone, a place filled with dangerous old beasts that even trained hunters avoided. When the villagers realized he was missing, panic spread like wildfire. Search parties rushed into the forest, calling his name. But what they found was something they would never forget. Trees had been pushed aside, not cut, not broken, just moved, as if something had walked through them without resistance. Following the trail, they arrived at a clearing, and there, lying motionless on the ground, was a massive soul beast, a creature far beyond anything the village could handle. Yet it had no wounds, no blood, no signs of struggle, only defeat, and sitting quietly on its head was Tian Guang, completely unharmed. One of the villagers whispered in terror, "What kind of child is that?" From that moment on, everything changed. The villagers no longer saw Tian Guang as a child. They saw him as something unnatural, something dangerous. Whispers filled the village. "He's cursed. He's not human. Stay away from him." Children were warned not to go near him. Parents pulled their sons and daughters away whenever he passed. Even the bravest hunters avoided his gaze. And so, Tian Guang grew up alone. But strangely, he didn't seem to care. He spent his days wandering, sitting quietly under trees, staring at the sky. Sometimes, he would look at his own hands, opening them, closing them, as if searching for something. Feels familiar, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember. Only fragments remained. A broken sky, a powerful enemy, a final punch, then nothing, just emptiness and boredom. A deep, endless boredom that even he didn't understand. Until one day, everything changed. It was a quiet afternoon when Tian Guang sat alone at the edge of the village. The wind moved gently through the grass. The sky stretched endlessly above him. For once, everything was peaceful. Then a voice broke the silence. "Hey!" Tian Guang slowly turned his head. Standing behind him was a girl. Small, bright, full of energy. Her name was Mei Lin. Unlike everyone else, she wasn't afraid. She walked up to him without hesitation and sat down beside him. "Why do you always sit here alone?" she asked. Tian Guang blinked. "Don't know." Mei Lin tilted her head. "That's weird." She smiled. "They say you're scary." Tian Guang looked at her. "Am I?" She thought for a moment, then shook her head. "Nope. You just look lonely." Lonely. The word echoed in his mind. A strange feeling stirred in his chest. Something unfamiliar. Something warm. From that day on, Mei Lin came to see him every day. She talked endlessly about the village, about her dreams, about becoming a powerful soul master one day. Tian Guang mostly listened, but for the first time, the silence around him didn't feel so empty. One day, Mei Lin handed him a small flower. "For you," she said. Tian Guang stared at it. "Why?" She smiled. "Because we're friends." Friends. Another unfamiliar word. But this time, he didn't question it. Slowly, he took the flower. Okay. And just like that, Tian Guang was no longer completely alone. But peace never lasts. Because in the Doluo continent, every child must face their destiny. At the age of 6, the martial soul awakening ceremony begins. The entire village gathered in anticipation. One by one, children stepped forward. Light filled the room. Spirits awakened. Some gained tools. Others awakened beast spirits. Each result brought cheers or disappointment. Then, it was Tian Guang's turn. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Whispers spread through the crowd. What will he awaken? Something terrifying? Tian Guang stepped forward calmly. The awakening master gestured to the crystal. "Place your hand here." Tian Guang did as he was told. The crystal began to glow. Light spread outward. Stronger, brighter. The entire room held its breath. Then suddenly, the light vanished. Completely. The crystal went dark. The awakening master's eyes widened in shock. This is impossible." He stepped back. "You have no martial soul." Silence filled the room. Then chaos erupted. "No martial soul? That can't be. Everyone has one." The master shook his head in disbelief. "But it's true. There's nothing." The villagers stepped back in fear. A child with monstrous strength and no martial soul? That meant one thing. He didn't belong. "He's a monster. A cursed child. Stay away from him." Tian Guang stood there quietly, unmoved, unshaken. Oh, that was all he said. But before the fear could consume the moment, a small figure stepped forward. Mei Lin. She stood in front of him, facing the crowd. "Stop it. He's not a monster." Her voice trembled, but she didn't move. For the first time, someone stood between Tian Guang and the world. The villagers hesitated, but their fear didn't disappear. From that day on, Tian Guang became an outcast, rejected by the very system that defined the Doluo continent. But something strange had happened, something no one noticed. The awakening crystal had cracked, a thin fracture spreading across its surface, as if it had tried, and failed, to measure something far beyond its limits. High above the village, an unseen presence watched silently. A god, ancient, powerful, curious, an existence without a martial soul. A pause. No, that is not emptiness. That is something beyond this world. Back in the village, Tian Guang looked at his hand. He clenched it slightly. The air around him trembled, still strong. For the first time, a faint smile appeared on his face. Because even without a martial soul, even without a place in this world, he still had something no one else did. Power that defied destiny itself. And deep within his soul, a forgotten memory stirred once more. A punch, strong enough to challenge a god. The anomaly had taken its first step, and the Doluo continent would soon feel the weight of a power it could never understand. To be continued.